Hi again, everyone. Welcome into another edition of Inside Sports. I'm Mark Keller. Thank you very much for joining us this week. Championship season is upon us in high school sports. We have a lot to talk about on the show today. First up, Herald Mail sports editor Andy Mason joins us for a look back at last weekend's region wrestling tournaments and a look ahead to this weekend's state tournament in Upper Marlboro. The brackets were drawn for the boys and girls basketball tournaments on Tuesday. We'll break down the sectional tournaments for you and tell you about the opening round matchups that will begin on Friday. Then we'll have Herald Mail insider Dan Kaufman here to wrap up the indoor track season. The state meet is in the books, and we'll tell you who brought home gold from Prince George's County last week. And last but not least, we're going to take a look at what's been happening on Facebook, Twitter, and more. Tell you how you can be part of the show by tagging us on our social media platforms. That's what's in store for this week. Andy Mason gets us started with this edition of Inside Sports right after this.
When you elevate nurses, you reduce an entire town's blood pressure. Specialized medical training means top nurses, top care. Meritus. Healthcare transformed. How do you give a patient healthier healthcare? Give her doctor, nurse, PA, and therapist the same health record. Introducing electronic health records. One patient, one record, one click. Meritus. Healthcare transformed.
For the last 2 years of my education, I was going to work full-time, school full-time, and raising 2 young children by myself. I think that anybody who's desiring to continue their education or to advance their career, I think that USMH provides convenient location, affordable pricing, and again, they have instructors that really care about sending their students off with the experience and the education that they need to succeed.
When it comes to hearing loss, who will be taking care of you? Audiologist Dr. Karen Hamilton is Hagerstown's hearing doctor, working to improve the quality of life for those with hearing loss. At Audiology Services, Dr. Hamilton focuses on evaluation and diagnosis to provide solutions for treating hearing loss. Using the latest technology, she programs hearing aids to meet your unique needs and ensures they fit properly and comfortably. Audiology Services participates with most insurance companies and will check benefits and file claims on your behalf. Dr. Hamilton and her team also serve the community through Hagerstown Hearing, which focuses on providing crystal clear sound in places such as theaters, churches, offices, and homes. Hagerstown Hearing installs looping systems that allows those with hearing loss to enjoy speech clarity and noise reduction, providing an experience like never before. To learn more about Audiology Services and Hagerstown Hearing, call 301-790-3300. Audiology Services and Hagerstown Hearing, providing crystal clear sound.
Welcome back to Inside Sports. Herald Mail sports editor Andy Mason joins us now to talk some high school wrestling. Andy, region tournaments last weekend. We had a big number of wrestlers qualify for this week's state meet down in Upper Marlboro. Tell us about that.
Yeah, 20 kids from Washington County are still alive. That's a huge number. Where that number ranks historically, I'm not really sure, but it's a nice solid number. Last year I know we had 17, which last year we called that a nice healthy number. This year we have 3 more. Williamsport's leading the way with 7. Mike Rektorovic, who's in his 16th season as a head coach at Williamsport, he thinks that's the most he's ever taken to states. You know, they've had a great season, and you know they've got one more weekend where they're looking to make a big statement. Unfortunately, they no longer keep team scores at the region tournament and state tournament, so you don't, you know, point-wise, you don't. I mean, I guess you could figure it out, but no one's keeping track of it for you, so you can't say we finished, you know. But when you take 7 guys, and a lot of these guys are good, you know, they would, in the old days, they'd have a chance to score a whole lot of points.
That's a huge number for Williamsport, you know, a team that has traditionally been, you know, in the top 2, certainly in Washington County. For them to take 7 this year and that be the biggest, quite an accomplishment for the Wildcats and for Rektorovic.
Yes. Yeah, it really is. And they're led this year by Taquan Johnson, the senior. You know, as I wrote about in my story, everyone knows him as, you know, the Clemson-bound defensive lineman, but he's a heck of a wrestler too. And right now he's the last unbeaten wrestler in Washington County. He's 37-0. And he just, you know, he won the region title convincingly. He sort of had this season. He's faced another big, strong kid, Cole Schweitzer from Southern Garrett. They'd wrestled twice previously this year in dual meets, and Taquan won each time by 1-point decision. They were real close matches. I think one of them went to triple overtime. Region final under the big lights at Winters Mill High School, he pinned him. So, he's going into states with a lot of momentum. However, Taekwon's last loss was in the state quarterfinals last year. He lost in the state quarterfinals to a kid named Jordan Pryor from Dunbar, and Taekwon went on to place third. He hasn't lost since that state quarterfinal match. However, this Jordan Pryor, who went on to win the state title last year, is in his half of the bracket again this year. So that's sort of a shame. They're the only two undefeated wrestlers in the 285 bracket. They're in line, on track to meet in the state semis. And it's Jordan Pryor is a fantastic wrestler. As a sophomore year, he won state champion at 220. Last year, junior state champ at 285, went unbeaten. This year, he's unbeaten, looking for his third straight state title. But I wouldn't count Taekwon out, but he's got that's going to be a tough match for him.
We talked last week when we discussed the county championships, the season and the counties that South Hagerstown had, and they had a great regional meet as well. 5 qualifiers coming from South Hagerstown.
Yeah, 5 qualifiers. Now, I don't have the records in front of me, but this is my 17th wrestling season here in Hagerstown, and I don't think South's ever had 5 state qualifiers. I mean, I'm almost 99% sure. So 5 is a huge number for them to get through, and they have Caleb Everhart, who just won his 2nd region title. He's 45-1, sort of quietly having another fantastic season. Junior, he won at 132 last year, the 4A, 3A West region title. This year he won at 138. And he's got to be thinking, in his bracket at the regions, I don't think he ever faced him, but the number 1 ranked kid in 4A, 3A was in his region. And I believe he got upset in the semis by the kid who Caleb beat in the final, and so Caleb's got to be going to states thinking, I can win this thing.
One of the things I read in your story about that was that Everhart was not ranked in the state rankings.
Yeah, that's just an oversight. I think that's somebody's mistake more than someone just. But who knows? Mm-hmm. They overlooked him. I don't know how you can have that kind of record and return from being a region champ and not be ranked, but he wasn't, and that bracket, I think it was 5 of the top 8 kids in the whole state were in that West region bracket, including 1 and 2, and he wasn't one of those 8, and he won the region. That's why he's got to be thinking, I can go down there and win this title.
Let's look at the other teams coming out of region. North and Smithsburg, both with 3 wrestlers going on to the state tournament. Tell us about those.
Yeah, well, Smithsburg, Shane Havermale. He won the region title at 120 pounds, he scored an escape with 5 seconds left in the final to win 1-0 over Alex Carbonell of Poolesville, a kid who had beat him, I believe it was 5-4 earlier this year, so he avenged that loss. And those were the top 2 ranked kids in the state, so, Shane's going down to states thinking this is my year to win it. He state runner-up as a sophomore at 106 pounds, state runner-up as a junior at 113, and I think he's thinking, I'm a senior, I'm at 120. This is my year. I would not be surprised if he faces that Carbonell kid again in the final, and he knows he can beat him. He actually beat him last year twice, but he lost to him this year. Now he beat him again, and he's got a chance.
And then North Hagerstown with 3 also going. They also had a region winner.
Yeah, Thomas Mon, a freshman. He's sensational, 113 pounds, region champ. His bracket's tough. I'm not saying he's not going to win the state title, but it's going to be very tough. He does have that region title, but he's going to be in the mix. I certainly expect him to be on the podium. He's going to have a tough battle to win that thing, but, you certainly wouldn't count him out. The kid's a really good wrestler. And Tyler Cook was state runner-up last year. He had a disappointing region final, finishing 2nd, close match to a kid he's wrestled before and beaten from Northwest, but he's going to be in the mix as well to get back to the championship final Saturday night.
And then finally, Boonesboro getting 2 kids into the state, so we have all 5 teams represented.
Yeah, it's great, and each team has multiple representatives. So it's a great showing for Washington County.
So we talked a lot about the individuals here who won region titles. Last minute here, who haven't we mentioned so far that could make a little bit of noise this weekend?
Well, there's Brandon Oyster. Brandon Oyster got 2nd at the region. Disappointing final. He lost 7-5 to a kid from Damascus who he pinned this season. So he could win at 195 pounds. He's someone who could win. Then there's Josh Atkinson. Josh Atkinson is 41-1. He went into the region tournament ranked number 1 in the state at 152 pounds, undefeated. He got upset by a kid from South Carroll in the semis, bounced back, won a couple of decisions. He's going to states for the very first time. He's good enough to win a state title, but again, he's a senior. He's never been there before, and he does not have that experience, but he is good enough to win.
How much does the experience play into it? You mentioned
Well,
that,
I think, occasionally you see some freshmen do great things, but it definitely, I think having been there before, it's not just another wrestling match, but the mat's the same size, the calls are the same, it's no different. But I think sometimes with these kids, you have to be there to experience it, to realize it's just wrestling.
All right. We'll have Andy back next week to wrap up the state tournament. Stay with us. We'll take a look ahead at the basketball tournament brackets coming up right after this.
We've been coming to Rick's for about 3 or 4 years. The staff at Rick's is wonderful.
It is the Cheers of Hagerstown.
Everybody knows your name.
They've actually become a lot of our friends.
Treat you like family. They know you by name.
It's nice to be able to go somewhere as quality as this that's not a chain restaurant.
The food is unique. They get creative.
Yeah.
It's fresh food.
And they make great drinks.
The word is in. Local, casual, and always epic. That's Rick's Cafe.
Prime Time for Women is no ordinary show. It's the exciting live audience TV show for and about women in the prime of life. Since every woman deserves to be seen and heard, cameras capture the audience as they interact with national celebrities, local experts, and guest presenters. Join me, Bernadette Wagner, for Prime Time for Women.
Tune in every Thursday and Friday at 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sundays at 8 a.m. for Prime Time for Women on WCL-TV channels 806 and 6.
Welcome back to Inside Sports. The MPSSAA held meetings Tuesday to determine seeds for the upcoming boys and girls basketball tournaments, and they released the brackets early Tuesday afternoon. Going to run down the regions of local interest for you here and map out the roads to College Park and Towson for Washington County's teams. Let's start with boys basketball. We'll open things up in 3A West, where the Section 2 bracket looks exactly the same as last year, and that means a third meeting between North Hagerstown and South Hagerstown. The Hubs are the number 3 seed, and they'll host the 6th-seeded Rebels at 6:30 Friday night, March 1st, in the section quarterfinals. North has won the last 5 meetings in the series, including an 80-55 victory in last year's section quarterfinals. The winner travels to number 2 seed Linganore on Monday, March 4th. The top half of the bracket sees Tuscarora and Frederick squaring off in the opening round Friday, with the winner going to top-seeded Thomas Johnson on Monday. Magruder and Westminster are the top seeds in Section 1. In Class 2A West, Williamsport grabs the number 1 seed in Section 2, earning the Wildcats a bye in the first round of the postseason. They'll host the winner of Friday's Walkersville-Seneca Valley game on Monday, March 4th. On the bottom half of the bracket, Middletown is the 2 seed. The Knights will play host to Friday's Damascus-Poolesville winner on Monday. Century and Oakdale are the top seeds in Section 1. Moving on to 1A West, Clear Spring, the number 1 seed in Section 2. The Blazers finished the regular season tied with New Era Academy atop the section standings, and Clear Spring gets the top seed by virtue of a coin toss. That means the Blazers get the only first-round bye in the section. They'll face the winner of Catoctin and Francis Scott Key on Monday, March 4th. Meanwhile, New Era will host number 7 seed Boonesboro in the opening round. Smithsburg is the number 3 seed and will host number 6 Brunswick. Both of those games tentatively scheduled for Friday, with the winners facing off on Monday. In Section 1, Hancock is the number 4 seed. They will host Allegheny on Friday, the winner facing top seed Southern Garrett on Monday. On the bottom half of the bracket, Mountain Ridge is the number 2 seed. The Miners get the winner of Friday's Northern Garrett-Fort Hill matchup. Tentative schedules for the remainder of the tournament. Section finals are set for Wednesday, March 6th. Region finals are Friday, March 8th. State semifinals are Thursday, March 14th for Class 3A, Friday, March 15th for Class 2A and 1A. That's at Xfinity Center on the University of Maryland campus, and all state final games will be played Saturday, March 16th. Over to the girls' side, starting in Class 3A West again, North Hagerstown is the number 5 seed. The Hubs will be on the road Friday to face 4th-seeded Linganore in the opening round for the right to play at top seed Frederick in the semifinals on Tuesday, March 5th. On the bottom side of the bracket, South Hagerstown is the number 6 seed. They will play at Tuscarora on Friday night. The winner travels to number 2 seed Thomas Johnson on Tuesday. Westminster and Rockville, the top seeds in Section 1. In Class 2A West, Williamsport is the number 5 seed, gets a first-round matchup against 4th seed of Walkersville Friday night at Walkersville. The winner there travels to top seed Middletown on Tuesday, March 5th. Damascus and Seneca Valley square off in the 3-6 game on the bottom of the bracket with the winner going on to face number 2 seed Poolesville on Tuesday. Oakdale and Winters Mill are the top 2 seeds in Section 1. In Class 1A West Section 2, Francis Scott Key is the number 1 seed. They'll sit in the first round and play host to the winner of the 4-5 matchup between Boonesboro and New Era Academy. That one at Boonesboro either Friday or Saturday. Smithsburg is the 2nd seed. They'll host Brunswick in the first round, while Clear Spring grabs the number 6 seed and travels to Catoctin for a first-round matchup. Those games either Friday or Saturday, with the winner set to face off on Tuesday, March 5th. Up in Section 1, Hancock is the number 4 seed and will host Northern Garrett either Friday or Saturday, with the winner going on to play top-seeded Allegheny on Tuesday. And in the bottom half of that draw, Southern Garrett is the 2nd seed and will host the winner of this weekend's Mountain Ridge Fort Hill game on Tuesday. Tentative schedules for the remainder of the girls tournament section finals set for Thursday, March 7th. Region finals are Saturday, March 9th. The state semifinals Thursday, March 14th for Class 3A, Friday, March 15th for Class 2A and 1A, those being played at CQ Arena on the Towson University campus. All state final games there also being played Saturday, March 16th. You can find up-to-date brackets online at www.countysportszone.com. And of course, our insiders from the Herald Mail will have game coverage and more at www.heraldmailmedia.com. Speaking of the insiders, we'll have another one stopping by in just a moment. Dan Kaufman joins me to talk indoor track right after this.
Frostburg's program at USMH was definitely closer to home, allowed me to stay at home while I had the opportunity to substitute in Washington County Public Schools. The scholarships at USMH really allowed me to walk out, being able to pay it off much more quickly and being able to pursue my graduate degree at a quicker rate. I would say to anyone considering USMH, allows you to build better relationships in the community and something that's definitely a great opportunity to pursue and leads to a better career.
We've been coming to Rick's for about 3 or 4 years. The staff at Rick's is wonderful.
It is the Cheers of Hagerstown.
Everybody knows your name.
They've actually become a lot of our friends.
Treat you like family. They know you by name.
It's nice to be able to go somewhere as quality as this that's not a chain restaurant.
The food is unique. They get creative. It's fresh food.
And they make great drinks.
The word is in. Local, casual, and always epic. That's Rick's Cafe.
Welcome back to Inside Sports. We're going to wrap up the indoor track season. Dan Kaufman was down at Prince George's County last week for the state meets, 1A, 2A on Monday, 3A, 4A on Tuesday. And Dan will start with talking with 1A, 2A, as we usually do when it comes to this. And we're going to start out talking about Boonesboro. The more things change, the more they stay the same with Boonesboro.
Yeah, their boys win their 3rd straight state title and really overcame a little bit of adversity while doing it. One of their top performers, Logan Arnold, in the pole vault, who was expected to score some points there, if not win, but score some points. He failed to clear a height, which is not the first time a kid pole vaulting that's happened to. Pole vault, a very difficult event, and things can happen. But I know when I saw that result and I saw that 0 there, I was like, ooh, Boonesboro is going to have a tough time overcoming that. But as usual, their boys step up, and Coach Becky Ward said, they know at this point what they have to do, and it seems like the vast majority of their kids who are there every year step up, throw personal bests on the board. They might not win, but they get key 2nd places, 3rd places. They do whatever they need to do. And so for the 3rd straight year, they're carrying out the state championship plaque. And interesting, your story about the event. You said it pretty much came down to the last event, much like last year. Boonesboro ahead going into the final event, the 4x400, and needing a certain result to end up on top, and they got the result they needed. A little less close, or a little less close this year than it was last year. I think last year they needed a 4th or a 5th, or just to make sure that they'd win. It wasn't quite as severe this year, but they still knew that they had to go out in the 4x4 and perform. It was the same team they were trying to hold off this year, Henry E. Lackey, than it was the previous year. And actually, they ran a better 4x400 too. They finished third. I think they were either fourth or fifth last year in closing out the title. They run third this year. And a perfect example of just going out. They knew full well exactly what they had to do going into that event. I was right there when Coach Sean Cutzel told them what they needed to achieve, and they got the job done.
Donovan McClellan, a great day for Boonesboro, and he anchored that 4x400 team, and a great day for him.
Yeah, and I think his best performance of the day was actually his second place state performance in the 500. He set a county record running 106 and 89 of a second, breaking the county record by 300 of a second. Ran an amazing race. I'm sure if you'd have told him he was going to run that, he'd think I probably defended my state title. But a kid, Justin McIntyre from Lackey, set the 1A state record in 106.32, I believe it was. And so sometimes all you can do is tip your cap to the other guy because you ran your best race and still got beat. Hey, hands off to you. But he came back in the 800, ran a 2 flat, and put that away pretty handily on the last lap. As you said, he was part of the relay, part of 28 points there. So, yeah, fantastic day for him, as you would expect.
You really broke down the 4x800 relay, and that was one that Boonesboro won, but you said probably a lot closer than they expected it to be.
I didn't think they were going to win it on the last lap. What happened is Billy Anderson, Joey Brennan, and Tyson Balestri did everything they needed to do and then some. I said in my preview, as long as they keep it close for Donovan McClellan on the anchor lap, he's going to be a huge favorite to bring that home. Well, they gave him a 30-meter lead or so at the start of the anchor leg. And Donovan, because he has all these events left, he knows he's got to try to conserve some energy if he can. And so he kind of put it into, second or third gear. And it almost cost him because I don't think he heard the second place kid coming up on him until like about 30 meters left when he heard the crowd starting to go nuts and like, I better. He barely kicked it in time to win. He won by like less than a tenth of a second. I know that for sure. But I didn't think he was going to win. And you could see it coming for like 2 laps. It was like, oh boy. But, he held on and got the W, and then he had a little more energy for later. So it worked out in the end, but man, you had to hold your breath there at the finish line.
Yeah. Another guy we've talked a lot about both during outdoor season or cross-country season and indoor was Henry Schmidt, who had another good day for Boonesboro as well. Tell us about his day.
Absolutely. Well, he won the 3200, ran a really good strategic race, didn't push the pace too much, kind of let the pace develop as just kind of organically, and ran a 5:05 first mile, first 1600, and then negative split, ran a 5:04 second 1600, and the other kids faded a little bit. He wound up winning by about 7 seconds, but really it was just really good race execution on his part. Also ran a season best 4:32.73 in the 1600 and finishing second, a real close race. The kid who won, Keegan Gold of Snow Hill, was only about a second faster than that. So again, that's 18 points on the board. He was a huge contributor to the state title.
On the girls' side, no team titles to talk about, but had some individuals on the girls' side as well. Tell us about those.
As far as state champions go, let's start with Lanisha Chance of South Hagerstown. In the 3A girls high jump, she clears a season best 5'3", which is something she had been knocking on the door of 5'4", 5'3" for a lot of the season. She cleared 5'4" outdoors last year, but she looked so smooth. I don't think she missed a jump until she got to 5'5", and by then the state title was secure. Just even her 5'3" leap that she cleared just looked totally smooth and confident. And she said confidence was a big part of her victory. She just went in with that kind of I'm going to win this mindset, and it showed in her performance. Clara Descluse of North Hagerstown went in the 3A girls pole vault, clearing 10 feet. She was a significant favorite in that event, and gets the job done. And then those are the 2 girls state champions. A couple others that got medals, but those 2 kind of carried the day as far as golds go.
And then North and South Hagerstown boys had some gold medals to speak of there as well. Yeah,
one of the events of the whole state meet was South's 4x200 relay, setting a state record, or setting a county record, in 1 minute 32.05 seconds. They led from start to finish, which I didn't know. That's always such a tough event when you get down there, especially in 3A. The sprinting teams are just really, really good. And for South to lead start to finish in that is really impressive. Khalil Booker got them off to a great start. He's kind of their number one short distance sprinter, probably their fastest 200 runner. And then Larry Barnes and Devin Campbell kept the lead. And that was really big for those two to keep that lead. And then it came down to Gasu Coulibaly holding on that lead at the end, and it got close, except for the team that finished second wound up getting disqualified. So it wasn't as close as it really appeared because of the disqualification. But as you were watching it unfold, it was pretty tense. And again, they ran an amazing time, took more than a second off the county record in the process. And then Nick McCoy from North Hagerstown went in the 3A boys shot put with a throw of 49.7. He was a little disappointed because he wanted 51.8 to qualify for nationals. But at the same time, he won the state title by 2 feet. You know, how disappointed can you really be in hindsight? So that kind of wraps up your roll call of state champs.
All right. Dan, thanks a bunch. Just be a couple weeks until we're bundling up and getting outside and running on the track outside as well. So thanks for all your coverage this year. We'll be back with more here on Inside Sports, our social media segment coming up right after this.
A big disgrace, waving your banner all over the place. We will rock you. Rock you.
Bohemian Rhapsody. Digital customers, tune to Channel 1 to get started.
For the last 2 years of my education, I was going to work full-time, school full-time, and raising 2 young children by myself. I think that anybody who's desiring to continue their education or to advance their career, I think that USMH provides convenient location, affordable pricing, and again, they have instructors that really care about sending their students off with the experience and the education that they need to succeed.
Welcome back to Inside Sports. Going to take a few moments here to check out social media, see what people have been talking about on Twitter recently in regards to local sports. We've talked a lot about the St. James girls basketball team with Herald Mail insider Bob Parcelletti in the last couple weeks, and we're going to talk about them again here. St. James Sports at SJS Athletics tweeting, the Saints go back-to-back as IPSL champions with a 70-30 victory over Bishop Walsh. Way to go, ladies. Morgan McMahon had 22 points and 5 steals. Skylar Treadwell had a double-double with 15 points and 10 rebounds. And Gabby Grantham Medley had 16 points as the Saints went to 18-4 on the season. Congratulations to the Saints on another outstanding year. Well, don't look now, but we're only 6 months away from high school football season. More here from St. James Sports as they tweeted, check it out. The 2019 St. James School Saints football schedule is set. #Saints. A closer look reveals some of the usual suspects from the Mid-Atlantic Conference listed, as well as a return appearance from Williamsport. And while Smithsburg is no longer on the schedule, they are replaced by another Washington County public school in Boonesboro. Now all you have to do is wait through the spring and summer seasons for that. Much closer is the spring season, and hope does spring eternal, as teams are preparing for first practice days and tryouts on March 1st. South Hagerstown Baseball at baseball_South. Showing off some new threads for the new season, tweeting senior at Mikey Hallbaker and junior at C.W. Phillips 14, getting ready to ball out for the new 2019 season with new uniforms, #OurYear. The Rebels are looking sharp at this point. If you're heading out to a game or a meet or a match, remember to reach out to us or tag us on social media and let us know about all the cool stuff that happens before, during, and after the games or events. On Twitter, we are at Inside Sports OL. On Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat, it's at Inside Sports Now. Whether you have a picture, a video, even a meme, we do want to see it. And if you do that, we could include your social media post in this segment next week. We also want to remind you that you can see this show and others, including our game coverage of high school basketball, volleyball, and football on demand from Antietam Broadband or online at myactv.net. Or you can watch us while you're on the go with the WCL On the Go app, which is available for download for iOS from the App Store or for Android from Google Play. Watch from your phone or your tablet no matter where you are on the WCL TV On the Go app. Well, that does it for us this week. Thanks to Herald Mail insiders Andy Mason and Dan Kaufman for joining us in the studio. And our thanks again to you for tuning in. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here next week on The Inside.
Hey, your sisters and your brothers, your haters and your lovers, you gotta get up in the streets.